Every kindred knows that blood carries with it a certain resonance, and those resonances carry the ability to be manipulated and controlled, to produce new and possibly unique powers ripe for kindred use. The circulatory system is a coordinated effort of mortal trafficking among vampire society. They track each vessel and the properties of vintages that flow within their veins. Members of the circulatory system interact with it in a variety of different ways, including transporters, smugglers, scientists, and consumers. What's important is that the work continues, and it remains far away from the prying eyes of mortals who might shut it down. Even the loss of a vessel before their time causes only the slightest drop in overall profits, while a suitable replacement is found. Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome back to our World of Darkness and the Laws of the Night playlist. In this playlist, we go over LARP, live action roleplay rules for Vampire the Masquerade, which are presented to us by Mind's Eye Theater and by Night Studios. So, Loresheets in the book are marked down as a special type of background advantage. You can buy these at character creation, or with your storyteller's permission, you can buy them after your character's already been in play for some time. This is something that you're going to want to talk to your storyteller about, because not all Loresheets will fit within the confines of a chronicle. Loresheets are a special way of not only giving your character a special advantage or advantages in gameplay, but also tying them in to the overall background meta plot within the Vampire the Masquerade storyline. I have found as a storyteller that Loresheets tend to be ignored at character creation just because it's a new mechanic and people don't exactly know what it is. Now, depending on when you're watching this, or even in your chronicle setting, this might not be true for you. You could very well have a game there people are obsessed with Loresheets, and with good reason. People who are used to playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition tabletop will know the benefits of Loresheets and exactly what they can do for your character. And there are several options in Laws of the Night and in future publications coming out from by Night Studios. That being said, I do want to point out that Loresheets are a lot different in LARP than they are in tabletop. In the tabletop setting of Vampire the Masquerade, Loresheets are going to add a special nuance to your character sheet. You might get a bump here and there in a background or even a discipline power because you have an associated Loresheet. However, in LARP, Loresheets tend to be a heavier hitting mechanic. They give you massive advantages, and they also should be something that are limited in a game, maybe only allowing a certain number of people out of a larger group to take that amount. Or you could build an entire chronicle completely around a Loresheet. Another huge difference from tabletop to LARP is that, much like all other backgrounds in LARP, the Loresheets are limited to 3 different advantages instead of 5 as they are in tabletop, as there is a condensed way of running things, as with all backgrounds in LARP, compared to tabletop. Purchasing Loresheets can be done with your free points at character creation. At character creation, you get 7 free background traits, and you are completely allowed to dump those points into a Loresheet, getting those free dots. And I want to stress that very much because there's a difference between dots and experience traits. At character creation, you will be given a free amount of experience traits to flesh out your character, to make them an individual. And when you have those are to be spent as experience points. Backgrounds are purchased at 3 experience per dot. But with your 7 free traits of dots, you can just take the points completely without worrying about the expanded cost when it comes to experience. That being said, if you wanted to buy the Sect Veteran Loresheet, for example, taking that would cost you 6 of your 7 free dots of backgrounds. However, if you're going to buy it with your free XP at character creation, it would cost you 3 points for a level 1, 6 points for a level 2, and 9 experience points for a level 3. Bring the total to 18 points if you wanted to buy a complete lore sheet. Now, personally, I am the kind of person who likes to buy things little by little over time so that my character has a chance to grow into what those advantages are. That is my style of playing. It is not the only style of playing. And being able to start with a small amount of a lore sheet to build up the tension is a lot of fun. With that being said, you do not have to buy these in order of experience. You do not have to start with level 1. You could very well start with the 3-point background instead, because what these are associated advantages with the meta plot that your character can take advantage of in any order they wish. You could buy a 1, you could buy 1 and a 3, you could buy just the second one. You can do it any way you want to. And that needs to be kept in mind, that these are not a progression style trait. In that way, multiple characters could start with the same lore sheet and have completely different advantages for taking it. So we're looking at the circulatory system tonight, which is a touchy subject when it comes to Vampire the Masquerade in general, because we're dealing with a very, very dirty aspect of vampire life, and that is the human trafficking. This could very well be something that violates lines or veils or anything like that in your game, but it is one of those things that it happens in the background of vampire society that a lot of Kindred just do not want to acknowledge is happening. This is one of those things where if they don't notice, they don't tend to care. But the circulatory system is a thing in the world of darkness, and how it runs in your game as a villain or a savior is 100% up to not just the storyteller, but also the players in a game. So let's take a look at the different benefits for this lore sheet. Investing 1 dot in this lore sheet gets you secure transit. The circulatory system moves important vessels using armored vans and armed ghoul drivers. These protected modes of transit are dangerous and difficult to attack. Sometimes you can hitch a ride in one of these vans. Once per month, you can arrange for secure travel in your city for up to 6 kindred with little effort. If you are participating in a connected chronicle with games of different cities, you may use secure transit to travel safely to another city where the circulatory system is present. Secure transit offers some very, very interesting possibilities for inter-city gameplay, which I like. The idea that you can occasionally arrange safe passage within your own city, that's something that it could definitely be helpful if there is something happening that makes travel in the city dangerous, which by all means a story can definitely lead to that area. But the idea that you can basically say that the reason you're popping up in another game, in an interconnected network of games, through the circulatory system, that's quite interesting. That's actually what catches my attention when it comes to this point of the lore sheet. Investing 2 dots in this lore sheet gets you farm upstate. Through your connections to the circulatory system, you have developed a farm of valuable vessels with blood potent enough to convey benefits to kindred drinkers. You gain a 3-dot herd with 2 dots in the friendly advantage. 3 dots of herd is nothing to scoff at. In fact, having that kind of thing is important. But what exactly does the friendly advantage do? If we open up to page 156 in the Treasured Laws of the Night book and take a look at that, it says that the advantage friendly, which you get 2 points of here, your herd is a group of people pleasers, outgoing and eager to make new friends. They usually travel in pairs or groups, and they're happy to expose a vein for those who are with you, as long as you can vouch for them. A friendly herd cannot be skittish. So a level 1 in friendly says that when you slake a hunger from your herd, one of the other characters may slake the same amount. A level 2 in the friendly advantage says that when you slake hunger from your herd, 2 other characters may slake the same amount. So basically you are opening up with this point of the lore sheet, you're opening up to 2 other players mechanically. I like how a lot of the mechanics can basically be redistributed by not using fluff. In my personal opinion, if you have the circulatory system with friendly at 2, all that's doing is giving it so that you can feed 2 other characters the same amount that you have. And it's not saying that the characters are like that the NPCs that you're feeding from are going to be okay with it. Now, it does say that they cannot have the skittish disadvantage, and that says skittish requires herd times 2. Your herd is easily frightened. You have managed to gain their trust, but for how long? Each time you slake hunger, you must test using your predator feeding pool. On a failure, you cannot use herd again for the game session. So, like I was saying, this allows you the benefits of friendly, but it does not necessarily mean they're happy. You're not going to have to throw a predator pool test on this due to the fact that these people are captive, they cannot get away. This is not a happy time for them. I want to point that out. The circulatory system is in fact human trafficking, and it is not meant to be something happy. Using the circulatory system, I think if you don't have the merit, and like as a storyteller, I might even, depending on humanity, I might even give a stain or 2. But I'm also a mean storyteller, so, let's check on the next one. Investing 3 dots in this character sheet gets you Blood Sommelier. You know the circulatory system's secret method for taste, analysis, and refreshment, and you have parlayed your knowledge into significant gains and information from circulatory system clients. You may select 5 dots of contacts, allies, or resources, mortal connections, or advantages. Once every 3 months, you may ask your storyteller for an important secret about an NPC who is a client of the circulatory system. Blood Sommelier is that point in the circulatory system that opens up. The fact that you get 5 free points in backgrounds to toss around really can add an extra oomph to your character. However, being able to find out a secret about an NPC customer of the circulatory system opens up a wide variety of things. One good example of that is you may be able to find out what the antagonist Venture's feeding type is and be able to cut them off in certain ways, making them much weaker and easier to take down. That's just one example of many things that you can do. But the circulatory system does open up to a lot of weird and dangerous and interesting roleplay that is morally ambiguous. So take that in consideration of how your character is going to be. There's a good chance that a high humanity character is not going to be like, shipping people from city to city because they like the way they taste or they get a better blood resonance from them. That's just, you got to take in consideration that we are playing a game of monsters here. And there's, I think the circulatory system is a massive example of that. So I am Voivode Maquette, and this has been a look into the Circulatory System Loresheet, which is open for all styles of characters. The Circulatory System works with the Camarilla, it works with the Anarchs, it works with whatever style of game you're trying to do, because it is a business, and they are looking to make money on human trafficking. So, we'll see you next time. Good evening.